Samantha, we don't have a lot of information other than what you just said. Richland County deputies confirmed 2 bodies were found inside of a home on Haverford Drive. And I did talk to one neighbor who said that deputies have been here on scene since around 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Now, we don't know what happened or when this happened, but we do know that the scene is very heavy tonight. We did see some family members here, and understandably they did not want to talk, and some neighbors here in the area. Now I'm going to step out of the way where you're going to take a look at this house, which it appears to be the crime scene. There are crime scene investigators taking photos, collecting evidence, and if you take a closer look, it would appears to be some blood stains, red marks. We're not entirely sure what that is, but these detectives are actively taking photos in this particular area. Again, we don't have much information other than there's a lot going on right now. It's still a very active scene. We did see some people who were here loading what appeared to be clothes inside of a bag, packing and leaving. But right now we know 2 bodies were found inside of what we assume is that home where we just showed you. But when we have more information, we will be sure to bring it to you. For now, we are live in Columbia. I'm Kelsey Sanchez. Watch Fox News, local first.
As you can tell, there's a lot of things still developing out there on Haverford Drive. Thank you, Kelsey. As this continues to unfold, we'll continue to update you on this situation. We're getting an update right now, actually, from the Richland County Sheriff's Department. They just sent this to us. Haverford Drive, 5 o'clock, as Kelsey said, 2 people found dead there. 1 person we're just finding out has been detained at that particular location. We don't know if they're a suspect. We just know they've been held aside for some type of questioning. As soon as we get the latest on this situation, we'll bring it to you on air and online on our website, 24 hours a day, WACH.com.
And chaotic overtime battle between South Carolina and number 2 Alabama. Not only was the game intense for the players, but for the fans. USC fans visibly and verbally upset to see Brandon Miller on the court after news came out on Tuesday accusing Miller of delivering a gun in a deadly shooting involving a different teammate earlier in the season. Fights breaking out in the stands, fans booing and yelling, some even escorted out of the arena late last night. For more information, of course, you can visit our website at WACH.com. But now let's get into the chaos on the court. Gamecocks hosting the Crimson Tide. Gigi Jackson going head-to-head with the freshman Brandon Miller. Battle of some elite freshmen. Shane Beamer in the house to see it as well. Jackson with the rip through and drive, finding a wide open Josh Gray for the slam. The CLA was rocking last night. Jackson up next again at the top of the arc, finding an opening, pulling up. The three-pointer is good. Gamecocks only trailing by 2 early on. Hayden Brown trapped in the paint, gets to Zachary Davis, who finds Jacoby Wright for the deep ball. It's good. South Carolina taking the lead early, 15-13. Crimson Tide responding, though. Miller finding a lane and taking it, getting to the rim through the traffic, and gets the foul. Bama takes back the lead. Fast break for the freshman Jackson with the slam. South Carolina up 4. Jackson yelling out, "This is my city." Hometown kid getting pumped. Just before half, Michi Johnson pulls up at the logo to beat the buzzer. It's good. Gamecocks up 35-31 at the half. Second half, Johnson from the top of the 3. He drains that one as well. Tied at 59. No one able to secure the lead before time runs out. Tied at 68. We're going into overtime. Johnson taking advantage of the lane, gets to the bucket. Tied at 76. Just 20 seconds to go. Bama gets the ball. Miller gets to the bucket, scoring, earning his 41st point of the night. Gamecocks losing a heartbreaker, 78-76 in overtime. South Carolina will head to number 11, Tennessee, this weekend on Saturday. Tip-off at 6 p.m. The news at 5. We'll be right back.
2024 path to the presidency is underway in South Carolina. Former President Donald Trump returned to the early primary state today. We have team coverage of his rekindled candidacy. We begin tonight with Bill Burr from our sister station in Charleston. He breaks down the details of tonight's visit.
His people are in place. Former President Donald Trump visited the State House to unveil his South Carolina leadership team. While the faces look familiar, this gathering marks a pivotal moment in the 2024 presidential race. A warm greeting from a friendly crowd. Former President Trump returned to familiar territory.
The famous saying goes, South Carolina picks presidents. You've heard that a little bit before, right?
He talked about politics, the state of the country, and his vision to return to the White House.
We need borders and we need fair elections and free elections. And if you don't have those two things, you don't have a country. There's only one president who has ever challenged the entire establishment in Washington. And with your vote next year, we will do it again, and I will do it again.
His state leadership team stood with him. Former Lieutenant Governor Andre Bauer, Congressman Joe Wilson, Congressman Russell Fry, Lieutenant Governor Pamela Evett, Senator Lindsey Graham, Congressman William Timmons, former State Representative Peter McCoy, former Ambassador Ed McMullen, and longtime ally Governor Henry McMaster.
In November 2024, we will re-elect Donald Trump, and we will see a burst of freedom and prosperity unlike any we have ever seen before.
Some high-profile Republican leaders who didn't attend include House Speaker Pro Tem Tommy Pope and House Majority Leader Davey Elliott. Also former Governor and UN Ambassador Nikki Haley and Senator Tim Scott. It's been reported recently that they're considering their own presidential campaigns. Reporting in downtown Columbia, Bill Burr, Watch Fox News, Local First.
In Irmo, fire officials there are scrambling to help stop a roof from caving in at a business there less than 24 hours after a truck crashed through the building. Now, we first told you about this story last night on the news at 10. Somehow that auto repair shop is open for business today. Our Jay Weaver's been tracking this since last night. He's live at Minnie's Auto Repair on St. Andrews Road. What's going on there right now, Jay?
Yes, Brian, we are here at the Minnie's Auto Repair, as you just mentioned. Now, if you look to my left, you'll see a pile of rubble that is from the accident that happened yesterday. You can see some glass, particles, some wood. There's even a beam that the owner says she doesn't even know where that came from. Now, as we continue on, you look behind me. This is the actual lobby in which the accident took place. Now, investigators did say that a truck came from the other side of the lobby, jumped the sidewalk into the lobby itself, and went across the parking lot. And before it had the opportunity to stop, it hit this red car. And investigators say that if this car was not here, there could have been even more damage. Now, the store has been open all day long, but investigators also say that the business is still not out of the woods.
You're looking at a security cam video from a neighboring business.
Somebody supposedly saw her driving erratic before she hit the building. So it was just supposed to be at a really high speed, which I would think by looking at the video is definitely the case.
Witnesses said the driver was speeding.
And she missed the power pole and didn't miss my building. So just went through, and then the car that stopped her was the one that got wedged right here between her and the little retaining wall.
An employee from the business next door tells Watch Fox News that she saw a driver get out of her vehicle with just a scratch.
You know, she walked out of the truck just fine. She only had a scratch on her lip.
Now the rebuilding process begins, and one local official says that due to the upcoming rain, there's real danger because the roof could collapse.
And the roof complex is basically teetering on the middle beam. So what we want to do is shore up the portion of the building that's compromised so that the other end of the building doesn't lift the roof off.
The owner says that she is grateful that the shop was closed and nobody was injured, and even more thankful for the outpouring of support.
It's one of those things where something bad happens and it brings out the good in everybody around, and you really get to see it, and it feels good. It really does.
Now, Brian, we do not have an official report yet, but especially about the woman who was driving the vehicle. Now, people and witnesses said that the lady was not injured. She got up and walked away. But also, Mrs. Connolly says that the tragic events that destroyed her building that she worked 5 years for it may be destroyed now, but she says that she does have the tools to rebuild. Reporting live in Irmo, Jay Weaver, Watch Fox News, Local First.
The gas just hit me in my face.
Gas, molds, and break-ins. Just some of the issues people who live at the Colony apartments say they're experiencing.
They need to shut the apartments down because too much crime, too much things that's going on out here, and they're not even doing maintenance like they're supposed to.
Rolanda Williams is one of hundreds of people forced out of her apartment after a series of gas leaks rocked the complex last month. She, like many others, finally got the green light to go back home, but realized her problems were far from over.
I had to stay to the hospital for overnight to this morning, and I just can't take it no more because it's not right.
Columbia Fire and police were on scene Friday afternoon to assess the situation. Fire Chief Aubrey Jenkins explained the apartment was cleared, but found the knob on the gas stove was turned on. Jenkins says as of Friday, roughly 86% of the units have been cleared to live in again, but says anyone should call if they ever smell gas inside.
Let the maintenance folks know so they can come in and check it and see what's going on with it, because obviously, these gas leaks didn't happen overnight.
Meanwhile, some who live at the complex say while they were gone, their units were robbed. Watch Fox News reached out to Columbia Police about any reported incidents on Friday. They say since the evacuations, 2 incidents were reported, with one victim claiming a gun had been stolen from her apartment. In Columbia, Kelsey Sanchez, Watch Fox News, Local First.